What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bones and Brews. Today we are going bourbon, garlic, hot wings on the smoker. Let me show you how it's done. All right, so for our bourbon garlic wings that we're going to make on that smoker here later today, we want to get the marinade going first so we can get that marinade with those wings. Let it sit in the refrigerator for a minimum of 4 hours. You can do it overnight as well. Let me show you how we're going to do this marinade today. So we're going to start with our bourbon. We're going to put that bourbon in here. We'll go about a third of a cup of bourbon. All right. And you'll see I got all my other ingredients ready to go here. So I'm going to start with a little bit of olive oil. It's about 2 tablespoons. I've got myself some pickle juice, a little bit of soy sauce here, lots of ingredients, a little bit of brown sugar. You can go light or dark, really doesn't matter for this one. A little bit of minced garlic. And then we're going to take some spices as well over here on the other side. So we're going to go with a little bit of onion powder, just a dash of that, to be honest. We're going to go with this a dash of smoked paprika. There we go. And we're going to hit it with, well, about a tablespoon here of Dijon mustard. And then this next one, when we go with the cayenne pepper, you can go with simply a dash or add more as depending on how much heat you really want to this as well. So I'm going to be a little more generous because I want a little more heat with these. And then we'll go a little fresh ground black pepper. And then after this, we're going to throw a couple herbs in there as well. So we're going to slide this off to the side here. Some rosemary. I'll take a couple sprigs of that rosemary here. What we're going to do is pull it off the stem. And I'm going to take my knife here and kind of chop it up just a little bit. Don't need this full sprigs sitting in the bag. You're better off we can kind of chop them up. A little bit of rosemary, just that fragrance and that taste goes a long way as well. All right, so we got that rosemary ready to go. And also going to pull off a little bit of fresh thyme here as well. Pull those off the sprigs. Don't need a lot of this as well. This is just, that fragrance will go a long way in this marinade for us. So got a little bit there for us to get going. So I'm going to get myself a glove here. And then what we'll do is we're going to get those wings. I'm just going to use a Ziploc bag. You can use a container, whatever you do for marinating at home. It's just easier with that Ziploc bag. Take my whisk first. I'm going to whisk everything together since I've got that little splash of that Dijon mustard sitting right here in the middle. Mix all those ingredients together before I come back here, and we're going to go ahead and slide those herbs in there as well. Give one more quick mix. All right, I'm going to grab my wings here, get those opened up. Grab my Ziploc. Go ahead and toss those wings in here, and we'll just pour that marinade on top of those wings. And like I said, I'm just going to put them inside in the refrigerator here for what I'm doing, because it's about noon here where I am today. I'm going to do some yard work, come back, throw these on the smoker here at probably about 5 o'clock this afternoon. Get rid of that glove, don't need that anymore. We'll take that marinade, pour it in our bag. And then when I go to close this up, I want to try to squeeze as much of that air out of here as possible so that marinade really can soak in before I close up that bag. I'm going to take this inside, throw it in the refrigerator. It's time to get these bourbon garlic hot wings ready for the smoker. I've been working in the yard here for a few hours. These have been marinating in that refrigerator. So let me show you how we're going to get these going. Weber Smoky Mountain's going right now at about 300 degrees. So that means those wings will take a little over an hour to get going. So we're going to get my rack here ready first. So what I'm going to do first is, because I'm pulling those wings out of that marinade, I really don't want things to drip everywhere. So I'm going to take a couple paper towels, place them underneath my rack here. It won't stop everything, but it'll help a little bit for easy cleaning on the other side. So those wings in there, let's see how they smell. Woo, I can smell that bourbon. Oh yeah, I get the bourbon and the garlic. And to be honest, I only used about 2 cloves of garlic in it, guys. They were minced, and that is strong and potent. But I also, after that garlic faded away, I can smell that thyme and that rosemary that we put in there as well. Oh, these are going to be really, really delicious. So let's go ahead and start putting them on our rack here and get things ready to go. So I'm going to place these on the rack, and then once again, we'll get those in that smoker going for probably at least an hour, maybe a little longer. What I'm trying to do is make sure that they've cooked all the way through to temp, as well as see if we can get that skin a little crispy as well. So I might open up the vents and crank up the heat there at the last 15 minutes or so, trying to crisp up that skin. Now, if you guys have seen me do wings before in the past, sometimes I rinse off that marinade, sometimes I don't, depends on what I'm doing. Usually when I rinse it off, that means that I'm going to coat it in like some cornstarch, something like that, just to try to help that skin to get a little crispier. But today I really just want to enjoy this bourbon taste that's in these wings. So we're gonna not do that today. I want that marinade to be really the star of the show, to be honest. So finish getting these racked. We'll take them on over to that Weber Smoky Mountain, where we will let them sit, smoke for at least an hour. It could go up to 2 hours. We'll just see how long it takes. So with these wings today in that Weber Smoky Mountain, along with that charcoal, I've got a little bit of applewood going as well, in case you were wondering. Let's take these on over to the smoker. We'll come back and check them out here in about an hour. While those wings are on the smoker are getting closer and closer to being done, I mean, these are bourbon garlic hot wings. So we got to bring a little heat to this as well. So let me show you what we're going to do for kind of that glaze we're going to use at the end. We'll let this sit on the smoke and actually melt and absorb more smoke at the same time. So got myself actually a little cast iron here, nice and small. I'm going to throw in some butter in the bottom of this here, so it'll melt nice and slowly while it's on there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of honey. What I'm looking to do is get probably about at least a tablespoon of honey in here, maybe a little bit more. And then I might add a little bit of hot sauce. Now, you could just kind of like use that butter and maybe some Mike's Hot Honey and kind of melt that down, warm up a little bit as well. But we're going to do this method today. Then we'll come back when we're done, when we glaze them, we'll top it off with we'll sprinkle just a little bit of that Spiceology, that smoky honey habanero rub on there as well. Let's get this on the smoker and let it start to melt down for us, all right? Let's take a look at these bourbon garlic wings. Oh yeah, my friends. Haven't checked the temp yet, but they've been on about 45 minutes. We'll let them go for a little bit longer. It appears that our bourbon garlic wings are ready to go. So I just pulled them off the smoker. This been sitting here for about 3 or 4 minutes. So it's cooled just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start putting them in my bowl here, because I'm going to use that glaze that I made to actually toss those wings in here in just a moment. Oops. I don't want to grab that rack because I'm sure it's pretty still hot. I can still smell the bourbon and the garlic. And to be honest, the rosemary and the thyme, like those 4 ingredients, after 90 minutes on that smoker and knowing that these wings are at temp and they've cooled for a couple of minutes, that's still the fragrance I get here. So we're going to get that rack out of the way because I'm sure it's still nice and piping hot here. And then I'm going to grab that mixture of that honey, that butter, that hot sauce, start to pour it over those wings. Don't need that mitt anymore. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a little smoky honey habanero from Spiceology, just to sprinkle a little bit in here as well. And we'll toss those wings. So you can see I've taken a plate and I've already taken some fresh parsley actually on the bottom of the plate, just more of a garnish, but we'll put some of it on the top as well. So we're going to start to plate these wings. I always like to put the Nice drums in the back. There's little wings in the front here. Always depends on how many you get in the pack as well. I know things always differ. All right, so I'm going to finish doing this, and then we are going to get them ready to taste test. All right, it is time for a little taste test of these wings. Smelling absolutely delicious. Let's slide these on a little closer. I'm gonna grab one of these wings here. So you notice I got that parsley I've used on here, just more of that, just to make it look, nice and fancy for these wings. We're using some bourbon, so we want to entertain the guest. Mm. So that bourbon has cooked down into those wings, and you can get that almost like a bourbony glaze in there, and you can taste that honey that I used in that butter earlier. I didn't go as strong with the heat this time. You can definitely go a lot more if you want a lot more heat, but if you're trying to serve these to lots of other people and not sure of their heat range, what we did today was absolutely perfect. These, my friends, are delicious. That meat's just cooked just right. Falling right off the bone. Mm. You guys are going to love this recipe. I'll put everything you need to know in the description of this episode. Please enjoy this one, as well as all of the wing recipes we have on our channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, friends. We'll see you guys again on Bones and Brews.